Let me just read through the rules and all you need to know before we kick start. So tonight, questions, there will be an open statement from all the candidates. They have about 3 minutes to give us this open statement. Um, Please try for the candidates, please keep your cameras on, but microphones muted if you're not speaking. If you're in the audience, you're a student just observing, please turn off your cameras and stay muted. If you need to ask a question, just raise your hand and I'll call you up to ask a question. So please do not type your question in the comment section as that would not be read out loud. Candidates should wait for my call to speak. So I'll be calling your name before you can speak. Candidates should be fair and positive. So please, no negative campaigning here. Smiley faces and just be happy. So any questions that the student asks should be fair and not offensive. So please, our audience, do not ask any offensive questions and be fair to all candidates. So one question for all four of them. Candidates should stick to the time limits. Please do stick to your time limit. Any questions asked by the audience should be to all candidates. I think I've already said this. And initially, like I had stated, opening statement from each candidate should be about 3 minutes, and you would also be allocated 3 minutes for a closing statement. If you need to leave by about 8 p.m., please do let me know, and I'm happy to end the session earlier, depending on the questions that are coming from the students. Yeah, that's about it. So let's get started. Oh yeah, the rules on the screen. I think I've already stated everything. So raise your hand if you need to speak, and otherwise, please don't comment. Don't put a comment on the comment section. I think we're ready now, Joe. Yay! And my first question would be for Tammy.
So opening statement.
Oh, oops. Oh my God. No, no. Okay. Yo, I forgot. Yeah, please, opening statement now. I don't know why I thought. Never mind, guys. So, MD, would you like to give us your opening statement, please? So you have about 3 minutes and your time starts now. Go. You on mute? On mute?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Tonight is a particular honor for me to be here. Born and raised in a middle class family. I have been studying in different educational institutes. In my educational institutes time, I've been spending my time with my colleagues, seniors, juniors. Pursuing my education with full of curiosity, feeling my curiosity. I'm here as no one, but all of you are connected with this story. From wherever you are, with society, with culture, with political and economical environment, we are here at UW for on to our dream, to realize, make our dream. This is our own reason here. So to real our goal, make our dream true. To make this dream true, we need to work together. We need to work together to make this way more smoother, more developed, more updated. So my manifesto is all about the students' improvement manifesto. It's the educational related improvements. So I am Ibda Figu Roman. I'm studying MSc Business with International Human Resource Management. And I have been working since 2012. I have been working with different social and volunteer organizations, and I played role as a general secretary and office secretary and as a convener of different kinds of events. So I had that kind of quality and skill to lead. People love to lead me, to lead them. So they make a way for me. That's why I'm thinking that it would be a fine chance, a good chance to show myself, to show my skills, stand for other people, stand for other people's voice. So I want to summarize my manifesto because as we do not have a lot of time to present our whole manifesto in description, if anybody wants to check, they can go my candidate resource page, they can find it out there. But I want to summarize it in few points. The first thing is that the strategic development in educational field. I want to make sure that educational resource development must be updated and most recent. That's needed. And other thing is just maximizing social and financial help to the students, overcoming diversity barriers, and last and most important is to present voice, student voice to the right authority to implement their ideas. So please warn me if my time is over because I do not have.
You have about
I'm not,
30 seconds to go.
okay, thank you. So I will elaborate my points by time when I'll get chance again. So first point is the strategic development. I want to make sure that this educational resource development must be implemented in a recent
sorry,
way.
I have to
Where
stop you.
started.
I have to stop you now. Sorry. Please. Yeah, I have to stop you now. You've gone above the time. It's past 3 minutes now. Sorry. My bad. I would have to move on to the next candidate, and I will call on Dami.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, please tell me when to start.
You can start now.
Okay.
So your time starts now.
All right. Hi everyone, my name is Dami and I am currently a postgraduate student doing a Master's of Research in Applied Sciences, and I'm contesting to be your next Vice President Education. Okay, so I've been at UWI for a couple of years now. I did my undergraduate degree at UWI and I came back to do a Master's. So I've been like a student ambassador, I've been a PAL leader, I've been a PAL intern, and currently I'm a BME advocate and postgraduate student tutor. So my experience with education is quite extensive, and this is the reason why I decided to contest for this position. So as a result of my personal experience, and also because I've been speaking to a lot of students about their own experiences as well, I've come to understand that there's a lot of work that we need to do to ensure that every student, regardless of age, ethnicity, disability, or whatever situation, have the best access to education, and to ensure that every single one of us graduates with good grades and quality degrees, and most importantly, transferable skills, which is the most important thing. I won't say it's the most important thing, but one of the most important things to me, because it's not about graduating from university, but also graduating with skills that would ensure that you have a good degree and to ensure that you're employable. So those are that's one of the key points that are in my manifesto. So why you should vote for me, why I'm contesting for this position, I think I'm a suitable candidate for this position, is because I'm very goal oriented. I am very dedicated to any task that I get myself involved in, and most especially, I'm very hardworking and I'm very passionate about education. So it's going to be an honor to be the voice of the students, be able to represent students the best way that I can, and to continue on all the projects and all the projects and all the tasks that I've been a participant in, and also like the projects that I'm also trying to develop, being a BME advocate and also a postgraduate senior tutor. So this will be an avenue for me to promote those positions, to be able to get students' voices heard and be able to get students more involved in the student union. So please vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Right on time. I was just about to say 30 seconds left. So our next candidate now is Sanjin, and please take the floor.
Just do let me know when should I start.
You can start now.
Hello, I'm Sanjay Hussain, and I'm standing for the next Vice President Education election this year. I will divide my speech into two parts. First of all, I would just like to say, why am I the right candidate for this post? And I'll just summarize a bit of my manifesto. I will not bore you with my entire manifesto, but just summarize it. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for joining this event and Students' Union to make this event online. and giving us the opportunity to talk a bit more about our manifesto and what we think about the election, basically. First of all, I would like to talk about my experience. I have been a student representative before, then I became a president of our society, and then last year, the last election was, and I was elected as a US conference delegate of UE. So all these experiences gave me the opportunity to learn and to understand what students need when they come to university, and what are the changes that needs to be made, and how the changes needs to be made. And this gave me the opportunity to learn. And now, with the plethora of the knowledge that I have gained over the last years, made me realize this is something that I can bring to the table and can change the the opportunities that the ASU has to offer to the students of UWI. Our student union is doing already a great job providing support to the students, and I think whatever you do, there are some little improvements that matters, and that changes makes the life of students much easier when they come to the university. So if I summarize my manifesto, that would be first to provide and improve the student study support. By that I mean now the education has shifted from person to person or face-to-face teachings to virtual teachings through internet. I know that's something that cannot be avoided, but things can be changed a little bit to facilitate the students for better educational support, such as creating smaller groups, appointing student supervisors, and who will basically.
And Jean, you have about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, and another point I just would like to add, which is mental support. This is something we need the most at this current times, and these changes are simple but do matter when it comes to betterment of student life. So these are the changes I'm thinking to bring to when I get elected. And if you think this change is important, do read my manifesto and do vote for me. Something Hussein, and thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to go on to the questions that I have here. But before I do, the student here with us, would you like to ask a question? If not, I'll just go straight ahead. And if you ever feel the need to, just raise your hand and I'll call you up. So the first question is, what are your top 3 priorities should you be elected? And I will throw this question to Dami.
Hi. So my top 3 priorities when elected. The first one is to promote student representation, and these are aimed to accomplish using the societies and also using the different groups that have been set up by the university. So, for example, we have the BME advocacy group. So that's the group for to encourage BME students in the health and applied sciences. And currently, it's only in the and applied science. So my goal is to ensure that this program or faculties so that every student will be able to participate from it. And also I'm going to ensure that the mentoring program is set up and fully functional. So currently it's a pilot program in the Health and Applied Sciences department, and I'm sure that every student is going to benefit from it regardless of what level of education. So my goal is to ensure that from foundation level to postgraduate level, every student is covered mentorship wise, because we all need mentorship. So that would be like one of the major things that I'm going to do. Secondly is about placements and internship positions. So firstly, because of the pandemic, there has been like a shift in education. So it's a positive shift and also a negative shift. So there's been all of that happening. And one thing that I've gotten, like one of the feedback that I've gotten back from students is the fact that a lot of students have been a lot of students that have lab-based studies have been negatively. And one of the things I want to do is to ensure that we can all have experience from have transferable skills to also invent fairs, seminars, module fairs to ensure that every student knows, every student, can you guys hear me? Hello, can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you.
Oh, okay. And that's just to ensure that every student is aware of the career pathway that they want to get on, and to ensure that no student is left behind. So this can also be done in partnership with the PAL service. So we can have career PAL service, we can have the global PAL service, so that it's not just about the academic PAL, to ensure that all areas regarding all sectors of education is covered for every student. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dami. Just before we move on to MD, I'd like to say that please do keep an eye on the chat section, because Jill will be dropping the times and how many seconds that you have left to respond to each question. So MD, the question is to you. If you need me to repeat the question again, I would.
Okay, my top priorities, I think, is talking about the top priorities. My top priorities include the first and most important priorities is to be the president voice to the correct authority and implementation the right way. Because I don't only do this, every people and every opinion, the students have opinion, because presently they are actually experiencing the way teaching our teachers and the facilities our university are providing, they are really expensive, and so much of them are suffering. And what is their need? Actually, my opinion, I think, from the students, from the most weakest student to the most strong and talented student, I strongly believe that every student's opinion has a creative idea, has something from there we can learn, we can implement something. So I want to my most important priority is to be the voice, to present the voice of the students to the to implement updated improvement. The secondly, I was talking about this. I said about my manifesto that strategic
MD,
development as
um,
time is uncertain.
MD, I might have to cut you short there. Could you move to a different location in your house, because your internet is cutting off constantly, so we can't really we can't hear you audibly enough. I don't know. Could it be where you're sitting down? So you've been
Are
cutting.
not hearing me good?
No, it hasn't been audible.
Oh, okay.
It might be your
So
location or the internet. What do you think? Maybe try changing your location.
okay, I'm trying to switch it to my. I'm actually thinking over my cell phone, so I'm trying to switch it over my laptop. So we might
Okay.
experience it. Okay,
Okay, while you sort that out, I'll go on to Sanji. So I'll give you time to sort that out, and we'll come back to you.
yeah.
So please do. Sanji, do you wanna take this?
My main priorities are the points that I have discussed a bit earlier on my opening statement, but the thing that I want to include as my priorities, which are the study support, promote mental health awareness, and support for international students. Let's start with international students, because when the international students come to university, a foreign country, if I may say, they face a couple of challenges. For example, from financial problems to getting used to a new environment and getting used to weather, for example. All these are accountable, and all these all these things plays an important role when it comes to proper educations. So if I'm elected, I will make sure that this support for international students are being expanded. ASU is already providing multiple supports, but a lot of students are not aware that the ASU is there to support the students. And the lackings that we currently have is lack of awareness, if I may say. And this is something that should be the main priority for any officers who is elected, regardless it's me, Tami, or MD Rahman. Whoever gets elected, that should be our main priorities, to raise awareness throughout the campus for students that the university has to offer. And study support, as I have said, because of this COVID and the pandemic, things have changed. For example, this meeting is all going online, and this has affected our lives, more or less everyone's life. So let's not stop our life and just make the best use of our education uh, through online resources, whatever we have. As I said, by creating smaller groups, appointing student supervisors, and other faculties who will maintain a proper relations between the students and the faculties, so that the teachings that we all expect that we will gain coming to university can be achieved. This is some of my few main priorities that I have included on my manifesto, and I would like to change if I'm elected as your next Vice President Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much. MD, are you ready now?
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can. Would you be able to turn on your camera?
I turn on my camera. Is it okay now?
Yes, you sound very audible, much better, but we can't see you.
I'm sorry, it's, my laptop is telling me my camera is on.
Oh, that's strange. Joe says she can see you, so maybe it's just my camera. Well, maybe it's just my laptop then. So would you want to carry on? I think you have about a few more seconds before the time runs up. Joe, please can you confirm how many more minutes he has to respond?
Should I start from the top priorities, or should I finish?
Yes, yeah, you're finishing off. Just give us a second. Joe is typing. I need to confirm if you would have to start again.
Okay, you just make sure.
Yeah, please start again. 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So my top priorities would be, the most importantly, to present the student's voice to the right authority, because I strongly believe every opinion and feedback has a creative power, has some ideas, because I think the people, when the students, they're experiencing their educational life from UWE, they are well known about this matter, about what they are suffering, what they are gaining, what would be the best way. So I think we have to evaluate their opinion in a right way, and we have to present it in the current authority, so they can make sure and make changes to maximize the financial and educational facilities to the students. It is needed. So voting me is to presenting your voice. So that is the most important. And the other thing is the strategic development. Time is uncertain. Like we did not predict it that we're going to be go through this type of horrific pandemic situation like this corona. So strategically, we have to be ready for this. And there are a lot of improvement can be done, especially our blackboard. We can talk about this blackboard. When the new students are coming, they are not habituated with this kind of digitalization, this kind of blackboard, or it is. There might be some students didn't able to join the first 2 or 3 classes because they did not able to find out how to join here. So this is the on complexity. And the secondly, when we are watching the some materials are given on the blackboard, a study week 1. So there are many files that's leading us to the Microsoft Word. Some are leading to the Excel, PowerPoint. So it's sometimes this kind of, it's taking time as we are passing time in isolation. So it's some kinds of shortcomings, I think. So it should be more organized. It should be more polished, more affordable, more accessible, more nicer. So it would be effective for the education, because the main purpose here, students come here to educate themselves. So we need to work together to make it more improved and more updated, more smoother. And thirdly, the third priorities, it should be the maximizing the financial help, that we need to provide more scholarship for the home students and abroad students, because some of the students are coming from the middle income countries, so they do not have that kind of facilities. I think, because we need to try to maximize it as much as possible. So more students can influence to come here. More students can inspire to come here, join, and take this updated education. Thank you. That's all about my top priorities.
Thank you so much, MD. And now I would be reading out the second question. So the second question is, how do you see the future of student representation in a virtual world? And I would throw this question to Sanjin.
As I've said earlier, because of this current pandemic and current situations, our teachings have gone all online, and that's not all negative. I would like to point out first, that's all not negative, because me being a law student, a postgraduate law student, I wasn't exposed to the technological sector that much, because I was spending most of my educational time on library or on my lectures. So this current pandemic or current times have made me, or if I may say, it forced me to learn a bit more about technological advancements and how things works. Basically, this will eventually help me out when it comes to my career. Basically, so these things are not all negative, and there are some negatives as well, besides the bright sides. For example, study support that I said, a law student or a postgraduate student or a PhD student can't really do their research all online on a computer. They need the library, they need their books, they need their resources. So this is something that needs to be addressed. The required facilities that a student needs, depending on their qualification. A medical student's need would be a different need than a law student's need. And as to mechanical engineering students' need would be a completely different need than I would need, for example. So all these voices are very important and needs to be addressed when it comes to ensuring proper and quality educations. So this is something I agree with Mr. MD Rahman, that he has said that when a student comes to university to learn, there are things that he cannot properly learn because of his own lackings. That should not be taken as a disadvantage, or that should not put that student at a disadvantaged position just because he doesn't know how to use Microsoft Teams, for example. When he comes to the university, he comes to the university with the intention to learn. So just let's make this place a place where we can accept students from all different backgrounds, different culture, different race, and with one single motive: to teach them, to educate them, and to make the future brighter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next would be Dami.
Hi, can you just repeat the question again?
Yes, of course. So the question is, how do you see the future of student representation in a virtual world?
Okay. So how do I see student representation in virtual world? I think there's a lot of work that we need to do, because these are uncertain times. Things have changed drastically, and we've had to adapt to the new normal. So the first thing is, I know like there's the Unify app. I don't know if you guys know about it, which is basically for students at UE, and a lot of students are on it. So I think it would be creating more partnership with this app and ensuring that, okay, we have direct access to students. And secondly, is about promoting the educational innovation team. So I know that UE has an educational innovation team that ensures that there's accessibility to all these online facilities that we have, and to ensure that even disabled students have access to these facilities as well. So I think the major thing is to ensure that I work hand in hand with this team, so that no one is lacking. I know my colleagues just mentioned about learning setbacks, like if you want to learn how to do Microsoft Word and Excel and things like that. And I know that the UA library, they do offer services where they teach you how to use some of these facilities. So I think one major thing is to ensure that students actually know that these facilities are readily available to them. So that's one thing that I'm definitely going to work on if elected, and to ensure that the learning technologists at UE are aware of the impact of this change on the educational lifestyle of students as well, and to ensure that student representation is basically upheld. So I mentioned earlier about the PAL service. There's also like Espresso Science service, and just basically setting up these little groups in different faculties that will ensure that like each student or whatever levels have direct access to the student union. So that would be a great way to start.
Thank you so much, Dami. I'll go on to MD now. MD, if you're speaking, you're on mute. I can't see you, but and I can't also hear you. Oh, yeah.
Do you see me?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
but it doesn't matter. Don't worry. Sorry.
Thank you, honorable moderator, for giving me chance again. So it's a really nice questions that future students representation in virtual world. You know, the now the presentation, the most important platform is virtual world. So how rich we are in virtual world, that's leading us in the world. So to implement is my manifesto is the most appropriate and most suitable, I think, because in the virtual world, if you want to do better, you have to do more virtualizing things. Like we are doing a lot of events in virtual world right now, so we have to do try to maximize it to engage the more students into it. So the Blackboard collaborator, my UWE app, is doing really great job. So I was talking about the shortcomings of leading the different from other this app to that app to that app. So it's kind of horrific, but indirectly it's also expertising the students how to use those kinds of apps. But it clean our time, so it should be more is smoother, more organized. I was talking about this. But virtually, if we want to do better, we need to do the maximize our social events that have been doing by the students union. They're doing such a great job, and they need to do is more and more and more. And we need to try to implement, we need to try to engage more students into it, so they can be expertise about it, so they can learn through it really nicely. So they should be more organized about it, well learned about it, well educated about it. So I'm the online technology. We need to teach students more and more in an effective way, so they can learn more. They can be interested, so they can learn more. And that virtual world is kind of world that's needed most important, because nowadays those people are doing better. Those people are technology oriented, educated. So it is most important. So I want to see the future student representation in the virtual would be more smarter, more effective, and more improved and more updated way. So I would, if I'm elected, I will do work. I will do work and make sure this presentation in the best way, like the most top universities are doing. So, so that would be my most prioritized and job for me, and I think I'm suitable for that because I have planned about the strategy about this virtual world. So that's all about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MD. And on to the third question. It will be, what are the main barriers to effective student voice, and how do you plan to get feedback? I'll be throwing this question to Dami.
Okay, so I think the most effective method to get students' feedback, as I mentioned earlier, there's the Unify app, which almost every I won't say all students but a lot of students are on. So that would be one of the major ways, especially as everyone's online now. Secondly, would be to promote student representative service. Another we should have students reps and just ensure that the students reps have all the tools that they need to make sure that they get feedback from students. I don't know if you guys can hear me. It's frozen
Yeah, I can
on my
hear you.
screen.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh no.
Oh, we can hear you, Dami. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because it was frozen on my screen. Okay, yes. So secondly would be to promote the student representative service. So there are student reps for every course, and to ensure that they have the trainings, and to ensure that the students have direct access to student reps and to all the society, and to make sure that we get feedback from societies as well. So not just academically, but also in social groups, to ensure that every single thing that they need to get done is heard by. Maybe I'm just going to continue because I'm here. I just hope that you can hear me. And then of course would be the mentorship service. So basically to ensure that every student gets a mentor, and to ensure that when they have any problems or they have any concerns, it gets to their mentors, which will relay the message back to the student union, so that there is a flow in communication as well. So those are the means by which I think that we'll be able to get feedback from students and be able to get it faster. And we can also through the social media networks that we have, which is also very, very efficient, just to ensure that students are more engaged with the student union, which is the most important thing. So when they're engaged with the student union more, then they know of the services that we have to offer. And then if we are falling short of the services, they know what to say and how to communicate with us.
Thank you so much, Dami. Now I would go on to MD. MD, are you there?
Could you please repeat the question?
So my question was, what are the main barriers to effective student voice, and how do you plan to get feedback?
What are the barriers? I'm sorry. Actually, my sound system is not that much good.
That's okay. I'm happy to repeat the question. So it says, what are the main barriers to effective student voice, and how do you plan to get feedback?
Okay. So what are the barriers exactly the implementing the student voice?
Is that a question to my question?
Yeah, is that your question? I'm
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that's correct. That was the question, I think. So I'm happy to repeat it again. So it says, what are the main barriers to effective student voice, and how do you plan to get feedback?
Okay, that's right. That's right. Thank you. It's a nice
That's
question
okay.
to answer about. I'm ready to go.
Yes, please shoot. I'm happy to summarize or paraphrase it for you if that's okay.
Okay.
MD, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I'm hearing you. Go
Yeah.
on.
Sorry?
Okay, sure. Can I start?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you. So it's a nice question to answer about. Is I was talking about my manifesto. It is written on my manifesto. There's the most important thing is we need to implement the students' voice rightly, because the students is the main aspects we are working on. We are trying to give them the best way of education, best way of learning. So the main barriers here, what I'm thinking, what is the best education, and what would be the best teacher? If we explain or define who is the best teacher, a best teacher is that teacher which teacher can make his or her students make curious, and then later fulfill the curiosity. That is important. So if you want to teach students, if you want to teach us, you have the materials should be kind of curious things that can fulfill our curiosity. That's important, that's needed. I think we need to do the the whole course materials, we cannot do that way, because something, it cannot be fun, you cannot make fun about it. But the education, the system, it can be development, it can be developed. Okay, so the most importantly, the curiosity, we need to inspire the curiosity of students. So if we want to do that, if we want to make things interesting, we need to go to the students, to listen them, to listen their voice, to listen their mottos. So that's important. So if we want to able to go to them, we want to able to listen them, so that would be nice for us to implement that. So I prioritize in my manifesto that we need to go to the most weakest student, to the most talented student, to know about their problems and how we can solve it. So we need to analyze that, can evaluate that, because I strongly believe a simple idea can make a huge change, and is proven in the history of the world. So we need to prioritize that.
Thank you so much, MD. 3 minutes is up, and I'll go on to Sandy now.
There's just one more point that I would like to add, apart from whatever the other competitors have said. One of the main barriers is lack of awareness. That's what I think, and to improve that barrier that we have between the students and the university or student union is something is to promote that we can make students aware of the offers and the facilities that we have. To improve that, if I become elected as the Vice President of Education, this is something I will work along with the SU Vice President Societies and Welfare to make the communities and societies more involved. Because a person from a different country or different community will be more open to a person of similar community or country. So that will open up a channel to communicate. So if the societies are involved, dealing with the problems the students have, they can report it directly to the student union, and the student union can work to help that target audience or that student or a single student that can be. So that's something I think is most important, getting involved with the societies and other teams that are there to support the needs for the students for better and effective communications, to lift the barriers the students have and they face on daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I'll be going on to my next question, and it is, how do you plan on empowering students to make change? I'll start with MD, please. MD, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
The question is, how do you intend to empower students to make changes?
Empowerment to students.
Yeah, how do you plan on empowering students to make changes?
I'm ready to go.
Yes. Please, for this goes to all the other candidates. Once I throw the question and I mention your name, just feel free to start answering. You don't have to wait for me to say go. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, it's a nice question to talk about, and the student empowerment is most important, I think, if you want to do better in the student politics or anything. If you want to do make things more improved, more better, so empowerment is most important. I think we need to do research about it. We need to strategically develop about it. So I was talking about my manifesto. In my manifesto, the strategic development. So in that strategy, I have planned to improve the students' empowerment. So how can we empower the students? So if we evaluate their opinion, take their opinion in account, so that would be the kind of empowerment. So it's like when a person talking, you are listening carefully as a leader. So it's really nice, because he will or she will feel like that he is in count. So that it is. So student empowerment, if we talk about the student empowerment, the student representatives, those are the working, the guys, smart guys, we need to train them more, and or we need to do really good work for them. And for the student empowerments, we need to do the things more organized. It's already organized. We can do the ways we are going in to the students, and it could be improved. Okay, because there is not anything you can say that's enough. There is nothing could be enough, because everywhere, every sector, there is a chance to improvement. So here, I think students empowerment is most important. So the students are now, right now, they are enjoying the empowerment. It should be geared, it should be polished, it should be more inspired, and the empowerment should be implemented more developed way. I think there is a chance to give the chance to the students, to student representative, to the other students. So there is a strategical change needed to empower the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now going on to Sanjin.
To promote student empowerment, first of all, I would say that student involvement is the most important aspect when it comes to empowering students, student bodies, voice, basically. So if we can't, if we can make students more involved and more engaged with the student union and the university, they will feel more encouraged uh, to and they will feel like they're empowered for changing something that they need. Secondly, just helping the students encourage more to be more interactive. That could be academically, that could be something they like doing when they are not learning or not in their classroom, basically. That would also help them promote, and that would help them make them feel they are empowered. And uh, these are something these are the things that I think would drastically improve the student empowerment when they come to university to learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. On to Dami now.
Ensure that I can be able to empower students to make changes. First of all, is to ensure that all students are aware of all the services available to them at the university. Because one thing is, a lot of students come to university, yes, and most students just focus on the academic part of things. But then there are other things happening in university. For example, the student union, and there's many other services that are available to students that a lot of students are not aware of. So basically, it's ensure that students know what the services are, and to ensure that they actually have access to these services as well. So for example, I mentioned earlier, the library holds like numerous workshops on how you can search for journals, how you can write effectively, how you can be able to use different services at the university. There's also the career services that helps with how to search for internships and how to apply for jobs, how to write your CVs. Things like these are some things that a lot of students are not aware of. So basically, it's to ensure that students are communicated to effectively. And secondly, to ensure that I work hand in hand with the other VPs, because education is not just about the academic aspect of it. As I think it was Sanjina mentioned earlier, there's the mental health part of it as well. And a lot of students have to be empowered in that sense, because everything reflects on your academics, reflects on your education. So working hand in also the societies available at the universities as well, and also working with the different student union officers, for example, these disability officers, and also the communications officer as well, so that everyone is aware of what's happening at the university. Because the major aim is to represent, is to communicate, and to support the students. So I'm sure that when I get into the role, if I get into the role, I'll be able to help students to ensure that I represent them properly, to make sure that I communicate with them. And that way, if I communicate with them effectively, then their voices are heard, and that way they would be empowered.
Thank you so much, Dami, and thank you to all our candidates. And now we'll move on to the closing statement as it is almost 8 p.m. I would like to start off with MD, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Finally, this I want to say this: the whole manifesto this I have written on my candidate resource base. So it's all are realistic. It could be implemented, and it is the fruitful way to strategic developments to present the student voice and other points that could be implemented for the best educational improvement for the UWE. And I strongly believe that I'm the suitable person to implement it because I have a good plan for the students. I strongly believe that life is not that you have money, you're spending for yourself, you are enjoying your life. Life is that you're standing for other people, you're doing something for everyone's betterment. So there have thousands of ideas uh, in the mind of the UW students. It could be listened and it could be implemented. And I'm ready to listen from the students. So vote for me. And I want to advance. I want to congratulate all of my colleagues who attend here, who doesn't attend here, who win or not win. Everyone stay safe and thank you. Thank you for this nice arrangement, Student Union, and thank you, honorable moderator.
Thank you so much, MD. Now I'll go on to Sanjay.
I would like to thank you again for moderating this debate and the ACU for organizing this debate. And I would also like to thank all the candidates here to make it to bring to point out their manifestos and their things that you want to improve. And this is a great opportunity for me to take back something that I learned from this debate and something that I can work on later. And our university, UB, is already a great place, and this is a great place to come and to learn. But there's nothing wrong to make it even better. And there are a couple of things that I mentioned that I would like to change and like to improve, if I may say, which I think will improve the majority of students aspect in their life. And you can find about it more on my manifesto page on the Students Union .co.uk under representations and elections tab. And I am I am a person who likes to listen to you, who wants to listen to you, and wants to bring your ideas on the table for a better for the better tomorrow. And if you think that's something that these are the changes that you need, and these are changes that you think is practical and will change your life in as a student, do vote for me and do vote for Sanjan, and let's change the future tomorrow and make it even better than it is today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. I'll now call on Dami to give the final closing statement.
First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to the Student Union for organizing this debate. It was really, really enlightening, and I love the fact that I could, explain my manifesto in different ways. And I would like to ask the students to please vote for me because I do have a clear vision for this role. And I do know that when I'm elected, I'm going to ensure that your voices are heard because I've been doing that with the different roles that I've been involved in at the university. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. And I'm very, very passionate about education and ensuring that every student has the best study experience that they possibly can at the university. So please vote Dami, vote me as your Vice President Education. I do have my manifesto, which is on the the UESU website, and of course I do have my candidacy page as well on Instagram where I share in little bit my manifesto. So it's Dami for VP Education, and please vote for Dami Lola. That's my name. That will be my name on the ballot. Please vote for me, and I'm going to ensure that your voices are heard and most importantly listened to. So it's not just about me telling you, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do. It's also about making sure that I do those things because right now the student union has done tremendously well, and it's just continuing from the position, from the places that they have stopped. So for example, they've done so much about getting coursework feedback, and it's something that I aim to improve on. There's also a lot that has been done on placements, internship. There's so much that has been done, and the goal is to continue from where my predecessors will have stopped. So please vote for me, Dami. I'm saying that again. My name is Dami. Please vote for me and ensure that your voices are heard and listened to. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being here today, and I'd like to wish all of you the best of luck next week. I'd also like to highlight that you should take care of your mental health, and if you ever feel like overwhelmed during the election period next week, please call like a friend or a family and just take a break. Please don't down the line. And make sure to look after yourself, eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and yeah. Wish you guys all the very best. Thank you all for joining us today. And I believe this recording is going to stop now.